Hey everyone, here's how I put together this little shadow work embroidered duck motif. And if you'd like to download my motif, you can purchase it below for $2. All the details are linked below. So to begin, I pulled out some colors from my DMC Embroidery Floss stash. You'll need a blue, yellow, orange, and black. Sorry, Henry is helping me with this voiceover. At any rate, actually I inherited this stash from a friend of mine, and the only one that was labeled was the yellow, which was 726. I'm really sorry I can't get the labels for the rest of the colors. But anywho, I did use an embroidered hoop here, and just a word of caution, you do not want to pull or tug on your fabric since it will stretch out. And while you're doing the embroidery work, avoid putting your finger like on the back side of the work on the underside of that hoop because it will stretch out as well. Oh, and yes, I had a mommy brain moment, and I actually cut out my pattern piece before doing my embroidered work. You don't want to do this. You should just trace out the outline of your pattern piece and cut it out after your embroidered work is complete. Otherwise, you risk stretching it out even more. So, anywho, yes, don't pull the fabric too tight, and it should have some give like this. Then I pulled one strand of DMC floss out. Whenever I try to pull out more than one strand at a time, I have a hot mess in a hurry. And I'm only working with one strand of floss at a time here. So after threading my needle and tying the bottom of my thread into a knot, I bring my needle through, I bring my needle through that far corner of this little wave, and then I put it down about 1/8 of an inch over, and I just chose the bottom of the wave to start, but you could start on the top instead. It really does not matter, folks. So from there I went to the top of the wave, and now I'm set up to do the back stitch, alternating from the top of the wave to the bottom of the wave, and over and over and over and over until the entire wave is complete. And when that is all done, I flip my work over and tie off my embroidered floss. And there's one wave complete. So moving on to the duck's body, I take some yellow floss, again only one strand, and tie a knot at the end of the bottom of the strand and bring it up just past that wave. Yes, Henry is very talkative right now. I'm very sorry. Anyway, I sing it just past that wave, and then I send it back down about 1/8 of an inch over. And then pop it up on the other side of that duck's body. Again, make a stitch about 1/8 of an inch above that. And now you're ready for the back stitch, just alternating each side, going back and forth until you get the entire duck's body done. You'll get to the top of the duck's body, and as you can see, as you approach the top of the duck's body, you're running out of space on the left hand side of the duck's body, but you still have those little feathers to do and that little back area. So a little trick is that I'm going to take a stitch on the duck's right hand side, but just loop it around the threads on the left hand side on the back of the work. And I actually do this twice, but just do whatever works for your stitches in case they aren't the same size as mine. You'll know when to stop doing this little trick when the yellow fills the duck's body. And once it fills the duck's body, you can just do the back stitch along the duck's head. This will outline the duck's back and get you ready to do the duck's head. And the duck's head is easy to fill in. You're just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth using that same back stitch until the whole thing is filled in. And if you need to do some back stitches without alternating at the very top, just go ahead and do that. So the final step with that yellow is to outline the wing. Now you could just do a simple back stitch just to make that outline, but I wanted to provide a little bit more shadow for some depth. So I'm actually kind of starting like midway on the wing, kind of in this area, you can see it on the video, and then going to the right hand side and then outlining the left hand side of that wing before I do the shadow work on the other region of that wing. I'm very glad that you have a visual for this step right here. And so once I get all of the shadow work done for that region of the wing, then I tie off the wing on the back of my work. And now I'm grabbing some orange floss so I can do the beak. I do shadow work for the top portion of that beak, going back and forth with that back stitch around until the shadow work is complete. And then on the bottom, I just do the back stitch for the bottom of the beak just to outline it, and then I flip my work over and weave my floss through to cover like the bottom of that beak so it has the shadow work effect as well. And finally, one French knot at the eye, and this duck is complete. I'm giving it a quick ironing so that friction heat activated pin disappears. Honestly, this is one of my favorite things to see how the motif looks when the pin is gone. Somehow it is audibly very, very satisfying to me. But anywho, rinse and repeat for the second duck in a row, and once you are done with that second duck, you can move on to this little guy taking a little dive. You'll do the wave just like we did before, and then you'll make your way to the duck's body. You'll start with this body like we did before, coming up on one side, going over to the other side, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until you get to the feet. For now, just stitch around the feet. So we're going to be skipping them for the time being and coming back to them once the rest of the body is done. And when you get all the feathers shaded in, just do the back stitch to complete the outline. And when the body is done, I went back to those little feet. I did 2 back stitches on the kind of like ankle part of the foot. Okay, well the ankle isn't part of the foot, but you know what I mean. This little section here on that duck's little leg ankle area. And then I went back and forth to fill in and outline those little webbed feet. Now this middle toe only needs the outline using the back stitch. And then I did 1 stitch to separate each of those toes from each other, and rinse and repeat for the other foot. Alright, and we are on to those little splashes. So I started at the bottom doing 2 back stitches and then went back and forth doing the back stitches until I got to the top, and again finished with 2 back stitches. And when I completed all of those stitches, I ironed my pin marks off, and voila, all my ducks were in a row. I hope this video was helpful. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.